What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Outside the Clutch. Tonight's gonna be a fun one. We got a thing that just people can't let go of, so we're gonna be talking about that. And there might be another fight tonight because of the way he's dressed, but who knows? We'll save that for later. Y'all's about to see it. We're gonna have a good time tonight talking with my boy, my brother from another mother. Mr. Antoine Hood of High Desert. But before we do that, we're going to roll some love to not only y'all, but to the sponsors, people that decided to really support this show with any way that they could. The sponsors are my way of giving back to the community. And as I was talking last week, we got a little giveaway that's about to happen. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to set that up, but we're going to be setting you up with a camera, the sensors, a strip, the whole 9 yards, the whole workup to really take full advantage of the husbandry items that VivTech provides. And if you haven't gotten into any of the VivTech products, I really implore you to check them out. Here at Outside the Clutch, we're honored to be sponsored by VivTech. Are you ready for innovation? Tired of the same boring product that's been used for 30 years? Ready to give your reptiles and amphibians the UV they really deserve? Then look no farther than VivTech. Their 3-watt LED bulbs provide the UV rays your animals have been missing. With 3 bulbs to fit your pet's climate needs, plus a dimmable feature, it's the only bulbs we use for UV. And it's the only bulb with a 2-year warranty in the industry. Plus now you can monitor all your pet's husbandry from your phone 24/7 with their sensors and even ship your customers' animals in their custom bags. So what are you waiting for? Go to VivTechProducts.com today, use code FCLUTCH0322 for 15% off, and provide your animals the best care they've ever had. And you can do the best that you want with your husbandry, but you gotta have the right substrate to go with it. There's only one substrate used here.
Are you ready for the best coconut substrate in the game? Then you gotta get REPTIchip. First off, it's America's chip because it's veteran owned. Secondly, why wouldn't you want the best cocoa chip for your animals? Go to REPTIchip.com, use code FEELYCHIPPIN for 10% off up to 3 breeder blocks, or your entire order of Easy Hatch trays or any Redline Science equipment on the site. Limit 1 coupon per customer. Or reach out to me as a representative in the El Paso area, and don't forget to join the Reptilution, where all profits go to helping those in need within the reptile community.
And finally, Show Me Snakes. Hey, they got a freaking show going on actually right now as we are talking. They are in Odessa right now, showing some great love to the Odessa Basin, bringing snake lovers into that area. It's only their second show. I was actually supposed to be there, but we had some stuff happen in our personal lives that didn't allow it. But we're gonna be supporting that show later on. There's actually a show here in El Paso at the end of next month, and there are shows all over the southeast. They actually go up into the Great Plains areas as well. So if you haven't checked out the Show Me Snake show yet, make sure you check it out. Talk to Mickey. Let him know you heard it first on Outside the Clutch. All right, let's jump in here and show some love to the people that are here. Arvin, what's up, my dude? This guy's at everything. He's coming in hot into the industry. He really loves what he's doing. He's already been to Arlington, stuff like that. Really good dude. Mindy, fam. What's up? All right. Kaiju, Constrictors, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Anna, y'all better get ready for that one. That's coming soon. Jaffe, what's up, my dude? What's up? Loving those shots with Bomb. KG and you are doing some really cool stuff. Main Squeeze, what's going on? What's going on? Mindy again, sorry. I love that. Onky John, you know it. Love me some Otto. That's my dude. Jamie from RC. That's original 15 Minutes of Lane fam. Antoine was a little scared, so he had to wait till the second season. You know how that goes. Christian, my dude, El Paso. What's going on? Thanks for stopping in. Mohammed, what's going on? 28 and just woke up from mine. Hey, leave my man alone. Hey, we both a little old. We got a little age to us. That's why this is gonna work out just right. Jose, some grab your balls. What's good, my dude? New York representing tonight. Matt, my dude from California. He's probably gonna be on Antoine's side tonight, though. We'll see. We'll see. Thomas from Low Life. What's going on, my brother? Ebony and Ivory. I just messed that up. I feel so bad for that. They're doing some awesome stuff with their education. They actually just did a commercial on their local news station. I'm really proud of those guys and what they're doing. McMillan Reptiles, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the live. Sammy Vargas, what's up, buddy? What's up with you? I hope you're ready for this. All right, y'all, do your thing in the chat. We're gonna have some fun with this, and we're gonna get to this knucklehead right here. Like I said, he's a brother from another mother. We may fight, we may talk some smack, we may do some stupid stuff together, but it's all out of love. Give it up for the one and only Antoine Hood, High Desert Pythons.
Hello.
Freaking Sith Lord over there, dude.
It doesn't matter who we are. What only matters is our plan.
Freaking A. How you doing, brother?
Nobody cared about me until I wore the hood. What's up?
You break it up, bro. The best part about it is like there's a small break or lag that just it emphasizes it that much. Oh man.
What's good, bro? What's going on, everybody in the chat?
What's good, bro?
See it, but you know, man, glad everybody jumping in and stuff.
Love.
So I got my nice. What's going on, Blackheart? Yeah, I got my water, but I also got my the Spider-Man mug because we can't pod without that. So you ready to pod, bro? What's going on with you?
Yeah, let's get this. So
yeah.
we're gonna start with something that people can't seem to let go of. End of the day, what's it been, like 2 years?
It's like 2 years.
Like 2 years. Like, let's be honest about this. 2 years since you and me grappled. Everyone's sitting here talking a bunch of smack, as I like to say. Let's be honest. Like, I'll be upfront. This dude won. He was a brown belt at the time. He got his black belt, I think, like 2 months after this event happened. I'm not even belted. Well, I'm in the process of getting with another gym here, so I'm not even belted. I took what I knew from combatives in the military and a little bit of technique that I had with rolling with people here locally and did my thing, right? But it was for a good cause. And we talked a lot of crap to each other. We amped it up. We worked it, which a lot of people here don't understand how to do a promo or something because promos are just they're lacking nowadays. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Exactly. There is no excuse for what you saw 2 years ago. I came in knowing what it was. Antoine came in knowing what it was, and it was for a good time and for a good cause. And I want to see someone else that, because like all the other podcasts like to keep talking crap on this event, but when you put $7,000 up in a matter of days for USARK, come back at me and talk some crap. Until then, shut your mouths.
Dude, we had one of the best media runs of all time, man. We was on everybody's show. It was so crazy, man. You know, but the hard part of selling it was like when you're doing a promo with somebody you actually like. That was to me was the only obstacle of the whole thing and stuff. Like, man, I'm like, man, I fuck with y'all. That's the homie, blah, 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 like that too. But it was just cool to kind of get in the character and do the whole build up, man. I like to go against somebody I can't fucking stand, you know. Because, I mean, everybody thinks, oh, Antoine likes everybody. Dude, that's furthest from the truth.
No.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that I would literally pop their heads off like the little Pez dispenser, man, if I got a chance to get a hold of them, but it is what it is though, and I'm glad we did it. And it was just one of those things that that kind of gave us both a good push, and it was for a good cause too, which is the most important thing too. You know what I mean? Because I was talking to somebody the other day about USARK and the money we put into them every year or whatever. So somebody said about $500,000. Does that sound right to you? $500,000 every year, like donations to. So think about all the big companies who have lobbyists, like that actually have offices. You know what I mean? Like in Washington D.C. And think about how much money going to them, and they still lose battles. Like look at the tobacco industry. The tobacco industry has to get tens of millions every year. I mean, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're still losing. They're still losing the battle. Like California is like no more flavored cigarettes anymore, and you got to be 21, and that's probably going to go nationwide and stuff like that too. So it's just there's not enough money, man. So we need to all get together, take our part, and stop unchecking those shipping boxes every time you ship something out to not get $1, man. What's crazy about that stat?
$1.
What's crazy about that stat?
You can't give $1.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time one of the shipping companies on the podcast, it said like 90% of the orders people unbox that $1. Dude, if everybody had that box, man, it should have happened where like it's automatic. It's just so weird to me, man, that like you making all these sales, all these animals, you can't donate $1 freaking to USARK. So
I don't get it, dude.
I don't know, man. That's
one of those
kind of
things
watching, but it was
So
a good time, but go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, but because of all the crap talkers, around saying that, oh man, they looked like they was going easy on each other. It was a draw thing, but just so you know, whoever the next victim is, they're gonna get destroyed immediately. It's no more nice stuff. So hopefully, whoever decides to be next challenger better come with their stuff, man.
Here's one of the things I want to say on that too is a lot of people don't understand. Like we did it on freaking 2-inch mats, not even 2 inches of foam, honestly, because we were on a yard and you could feel everything underneath it. Like we had plans for grandeur for this first fight that didn't go through, obviously, because we couldn't get it set up. It was supposed to be in an actual octagon, all the greatness and like bringing it in and going crazy, right? We weren't able to set that up. So a lot of people are like, oh, you took it easy on each other. But at the same time, like there's only so much you could do starting from the positions that we deemed safe for each other.
Right. Because it was a safety thing too.
Yeah.
Because the last thing one of us wanted to do was be at a reptile show Sunday and have a torn ACL or crack your neck on the side of the concrete and catch $1 million baby on you. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't make sense. So it's just a lot of stuff that we had to take into consideration and stuff too. And whenever you do something like this, you put your health and well-being on the line. Like at the time, I didn't have a helper at the house either. Like doing my snake. So if I'd end up injuring myself, I'd have been screwed. I'm sure you'd have been the same way, So I mean, it's just.
Well, I mean, I got TRICARE.
Everybody can always.
I would have been covered, but I would have been sucking that weekend, probably next week.
Dude, but it's just like everything else, though. Everybody can say stuff because it wasn't in there. It's super easy to armchair quarterback from the comments section. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
but yeah, it was in the past, and I don't regret it at all, and had a good time. And I'm definitely down to do it again. So I'm down. Leviathan, what up? And it was Courtney's birthday, I think. Great. It was Courtney's birthday the other day. What up, Courtney?
So let's talk a little bit about outside of the ball pythons. So like obviously you have a love for mixed martial arts. You do teaching as an instructor, and you literally just got certified within the state of California for your next step in that. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
So I'm officially on a list of certified matchmakers for the California State Athletic Commission, which means that I have the legal authority to put professional mixed martial arts fights together by myself and as a freelancer to promotions. But now I'm contracted to Uriah Faber. A lot of people, if you don't know who Uriah Faber is, he was a staple in the WEC and the UFC, and he has Team Alpha Male in Sacramento. He has his own promotion out here. And whenever they come to the Central Valley, which is 4 to 5 times a year, I'm in charge of the matchmaking for that at Tachi Palace. where they used to have the old WEC at back in like 2006, 2007. So, you know,
boy talking mess. Oh man, that's cool, man. Like how long of a process was that for you though? Like how intrusive is it to actually get licensed to become a matchmaker there?
Well, really, the licensing part wasn't the hard part. It's just that building your reputation, like in the community. So, you know, California is a big state, especially north to south ways. You know what I mean? So, I think from the border of Mexico to the border of Oregon is like a 12-hour drive or something like that, or probably a little bit more than that. You know, so there's just so many different regional promotions in the area and amateurs. And I've been the matchmaker for the amateur promotion, 559 fights, probably for this will be my 5th year coming up in September, and just putting on fights there, and then seeing like some of the big promotions watching our fights. Like the UFC actually follows 559 fights, because I didn't know until the president told me that he lives across the street from Sean Shelby. He's always asking about fights that got put together, and so just to, you know, establish that reputation on a smaller scale, and then having people always having eyes on you. So that was pretty cool to get offered this job. And, you know, my actual, like, real full show that's kind of all mine, it'll be April 28th. So that's going to be cool. So I'll be at that show suited and booted, you know what I mean, shaking hands with everybody and having a good time. And I'm super excited about it, too, man. The pay is great. I'm kind of at the point now, man, where between the reptile business and the fight business, I really don't need a day job anymore. But, I mean, you know, how much money do you need? The question is always more, you know what I'm saying? So
let's talk about that. So you found a way to be a promoter in all aspects of your life, really. What are some of the things that you think that are really required out of someone that's not only trying to promote themselves, but trying to help others promote themselves as they're coming up?
Relationships, bro. No, all the industries I'm a part of, that would not be possible if I didn't either, like, first of all, have a mentor who put me under their wing, where I just shut my mouth and listen to what they said and put me under the ropes. And it also wouldn't happen if I didn't help out other people. And it just so happened that they knew somebody who knew somebody that knew what I was a part of, you know what I mean? And then brought me along. So like even like I said, reptiles, the aviation industry, fighting, is always me just about doing little small things for people that meant a lot to them at the time, but I wasn't doing it to gain something. I was doing it because it was somebody who I saw that needed help, and I helped them along. You know, like I can't tell you how many fighters that fought as amateurs with me, and then I wrapped their hands because their coaches wasn't there or something like that, and then they like made it all to the UFC, and then just them like shouting me out in videos and stuff like that too. Like that little stuff, man, is dope. And it's always like, that's why I always appreciate people who don't forget where they came from, you know, because fighting is an unforgiving sport, and it's a young man sport. You know, like you got to be like outside in 120-degree weather sometimes, a warm-up room being ice cold in Canada and things like that too. And it's no money for a long time, man. Even as pros, you're gonna be making pennies until you like really, really make it to the big show. So this is something you have to really love to do. And I respect the passion and the effort to all of these fighters who come out there and put their life on the line every day, whether it's in the cage, the ring, or in training. So yeah, it's just such a hard sport, man. And I really gotta respect it. My fighting career ended up short because when I got out the military, I couldn't pass the MRI. A lot of people don't know that. But I was going to be a pro fighter when I was 23 years old. But I went to go fight in New Jersey. They made us get the whole MRI thing, and then they found some like dark spots in my brain where they said it could be like an early aneurysm type of thing or whatever. And it was like, yeah, we recommend that you never ever fight. So because you don't want to hit your head the wrong way.
So no pop in the head for Antoine.
And the lights go out forever, you know. So I respected. I respected. I mean, since then I've done a lot of hard sparring and stuff like that too, and I've been knocked around plenty. But you know, on paper, they said I should never like take a professional fight. Which so instead of like just me going to a different commission and just that didn't require MRIs, I just listened to them and decided just to become a coach. You know what I mean? So I just became hungry to learn different types of martial arts. I got better in wrestling, better in jiu-jitsu, better in my striking. And I just started like bringing kids along and just like helping out in kickboxing gyms and things like that until I moved to California, opened up my own gym. And Yeah, man. Just over the past, I've been here 13 years next month, man, and it's been a crazy ride, man. It just something I kind of just fell into, and it just kind of blossomed to this like real big thing where now I'm on like UFC Fight Pass and stuff like that, you know. So it's pretty dope.
So what's some aspects? Because like we saw with the first season of 15 Minutes of Lame, Shane does like this super WWE type promotion skill, which I've pulled some of that, obviously. Like if you listen to my horrible like 90s montage promos at the beginning of this podcast, you hear a little bit of excitement like in the old days. But what's some of the stuff that you've heard or you've learned from your fight promotions that you've applied towards like the snake promotions or even your brand in a whole?
Just being everywhere. So like any opportunity I have to post, to have somebody say my business name or to pop on some screen is worked for me. Like I don't know if you saw my reel a couple of weeks ago, but one of the biggest podcasts as far as like the hip hop community and like the urban like scale of things is the Joe Budden podcast. And in fact, getting Joe Budden to say, "Hey, hi, Desert Python, blah blah blah," you know what I mean? Just by paying a super chat while they were doing a live show, it's crazy. And I'm actually in the talks with them now. I'm actually sending them an animal and get like a whole big like display so they can have for their studio and stuff like that too. Yeah, so that'd be cool. So there's a lot of podcasts I listen to, but I'm trying to like, you know, just kind of like donate some animals and stuff too. But obviously I'm gonna make sure there's somebody there that can take care of the animal correctly, you know, and things like that. So yeah, it's just always about promotions and stuff too. And you know, and I learned a lot of that too. Just kind of watching Miguel, you know what I mean? Like how dope is it? I mean, as much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys, watching him go to Ezekiel Elliott's house and like giving him a pie ball python, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would give my left pinky to fly to New Jersey and go to Saquon Barkley's house, you know what I mean, and hang out with, you know, one of my favorite Giants right now and give him a ball python, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's all about that, man. Like I sponsor fighters and regional promotions, not even just like you know, like in my area. So like I got guys in Bellator, Invicta FC, there's UFC. I sponsor a lot of people. They wear my shirts. The ones that they can actually wear my logo on their shorts, they do that at their fights too. And I get a message like, "Hey man, I saw blah 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 wear your logo at one of the fights. I just want to know some more information about you." Boom, and that turns into a sale. You know what I mean? So if I can do a $500 sponsorship for somebody that turns to a $600 sale, I've gained $100. You know, so and I'm cool with that.
I think that's one of the things that so many of us can learn from too, is like obviously having your name not only in one community but all communities that you touch, and finding a way to constantly have your name brought up is something that let's be honest, like even myself, I very much so get in my lazy moods, or I get a little butt hurt on the performance of some videos or something like that, right? And I could be like, "Well, I ain't gonna post for a week. Screw all these people. I'm gonna take my me time and refigure it out." The difference is you might do that too, which we've talked about. We talked about this on the phone a little bit. I was like, "Hey, where you been? It's been like 6 months." Like finally a video, but while you weren't putting out videos, what a lot of people don't realize is you were doing a lot of other things so that your name was constantly being brought up as well.
Well, and I switched over. I put more time on Instagram because I was making way more money on Instagram than I was on YouTube, you know? So sometimes with those reels, like sometimes like I get a $500 check from, you know, from Instagram. You know what I mean? Other than like doing a live and super chats on YouTube, you're not really going to ever get money like that. It's going to take a lot of views on even regular videos. You know, like I got a video with 21,000 views on my YouTube channel, and I haven't seen $500 from that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like a million views is $680 something, right? That's it.
That hurts.
That hurts. That's crazy. That hurts a lot, man. You know, so it's just that to me, Instagram was just a better platform as far as monetizing and stuff too. And I get, you know, if I look at an Instagram post and I can get 300,000 views on an IG reel, but I'm only getting 2,500 to 3,000 views, you know, on YouTube. Which one is the bigger platform I'm getting more heads on, you know? So I think Instagram. But now I saw an article that they're getting rid of monetization on Reels for Facebook and Instagram starting in April, I think.
Yeah.
So
You got like
I'm
4 days, bro.
I'm come crawling back to YouTube like a little biatch.
You got 4 days to emphasize as many reels as you can, bro.
I'm hitting up YouTube like, hey, big head, I miss you. Hey, telling YouTube, hey, boo. So
let's talk
man.
about when you came into the industry, man. Like a lot of people understand you've been around for a number of years now, but I don't know that everybody understands your full story. Like you literally had a moment where when you first started out, you bought into what you thought was going to be the next best thing, the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? And it turned out to be a junk and almost destroyed everything that you built. So let's talk about the process that you've learned leading up into that project. If you want to talk about that project, you're more than welcome to talk about that project. But
I got a hookup. So I got a hookup on the GHI super early. Like I had a male from the first generation males who got imported in for the GHI. That's how early I've had the GHI project. But I thought it was ugly. I was like, man, I like bright stuff. I like to do pod stuff. Like I thought the future of ball pythons is gonna be the super bright animals. When you open up your rack or look at your enclosure, you got to put on sunglasses. Look at that bad boy. You know what I mean? So at the time, I knew about the desert gene. So whatever I paired that JHI male to, and I made JHI combos, I just did like a lot of trades and like partial trades for like desert combos too. Like if you look up tiger ball python, that was the Inchy desert. That thing was badass, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's the closest. Like to me, the desert is better than lace. Could you imagine if there's a like the desert? The desert did
hold your
like,
blasphemy, bro.
No, the laces are dope.
Nah. We're about to nah. Screw all that, bro. Nah. Ain't nothing touching lace like that.
It was, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, so yeah, man. So I mean, and like, you know, too, so we'll get to lace in a minute, but I was one of the people that trashed lace early on because I haven't seen the gene in person. And I talked to Brian Carter about that a lot, and Justin, where like I openly was telling like, hey man, I think Brian, you know, he just advertised me because this is the gene he got, until I saw that thing in person and was like, damn. But I digress. So with the desert gene, with the desert gene, I wanted to build a whole bunch of products off of it, like most of the recessives that were out, you know, like the pies and clown stuff. Yep, sure did. Yeah, so I had like get into like the desert pod, desert clown, and like a lot of other different codoms and stuff too. I had a lot of females being built up to like breed, and then come to find out that female deserts aren't viable, and you know they can't produce and stuff like that too. And at the time, desert females made up, I probably say 75 to 80% of my collection. Because I banked on that because that's what I like. You know what I mean? Other than like some smaller projects I'm trying to build up, it just hurt a lot. So I ended up like getting rid of most of that collection and selling it for essentially pennies on a dollar. And I used that to start my gym. So I used that little bit of money to get my MMA gym started. And I kind of took a 2.5 year break from the snakes until I came back and started getting snakes again. But yeah, man, it sucked, man, and it was a big gut punch. But what I learned from that is transparency in projects. You know what I mean? Like I won't invest in any animal now that I don't see the female on eggs, or know that the male is or the male is tied, or whether or not we find to disprove a homozygous version of it too. You know what I mean? So like, does it have a super? How do we know? You know what I mean? So and a lot of times it's just a lot of genes are just marketed really, really well, and that's why people get into them. So the marketing early on for the gene was pretty dope, but that was just the one big aspect of it that we didn't know. And at the time, the only other problem we had with ball pythons not producing viable stuff was the carbon albino stuff, you know. So everybody thought that was one off. So everybody would tell you, if you want to make visual caramels, you take head to head, or you know what I mean, a visual male to a head female, and you do it that way. Because if you do an adult female, you know what I mean, visual female, you got a high chance of like, infertile eggs or the mom dying and things like that. So every project I have now, I know, if there's a super, how that looks. I see the female version of it on eggs, so on and so forth. So just transparency in projects too. And that's also the person who's mainly behind the project. It should be their responsibility to put that out there too. And I think that the desert project, and there's a couple other stuff I'm not going to talk about, but I beat up on the desert right now, that I think that was irresponsibly put out there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people knew about the infertility issues way before all that money got circulated, i.e. the people who were willingly fucking trading the multiple desert females for, at the time, I was sending them like $25,000 and $30,000 GHI combo stuff.
Bro,
so
that should have been your sign right there.
It is what it is though, but to me though, I feel like when I paid for that GHI male, I didn't deserve all that money. You know what I mean? Like I got him on like a hookup. You know what I mean? So like to me, I think that's just the universe's way of kind of writing itself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have took for what I paid for that GHI male, the combos and stuff I made from him, if all I did was take cash for that dude, I could have easily been like maybe top 10, top 15 ball python breeders right now, like in the world, as much stuff as I was putting out. And you know what I mean, the things I was doing. So I mean, it just wasn't my time yet, and It just wasn't meant to be. And this is like, I just think that I had a different path to do, and I had to make my bones in other places in life outside of the ball pythons. And they came back and decided to come back into it when I was more financially not only stable but responsible. Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't always been the most financially responsible person, and I'm still not at 41 years old. But we getting there.
Let's be honest. I don't think anyone in this game is financially responsible in the least. In the least.
Touche.
We just freaking.
Oh man.
We a bunch of hoarders that just do what we want to do. So let's talk about USARK for a moment. So you've been a huge supporter, like we were talking about. You're a certified matchmaker. You've now made one match between you and me. I think there needs to be an annual go around, bro. I think there needs to be an annual go around, and I think everyone that's talking smack to each other through the internet needs to get together at these matches, and the only way you get out of your match is if you donate more than your sponsors are willing to.
That's great. That'd be cool. Dude, I've actually been looking at some like different people who like I thought would be a good matchup, and some people that I know actually train. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds kind of weird. So yeah, there's a couple of people that I know who train too, and I'm personal friends with, that I think would make good matches outside of like between like me and somebody, or you and somebody else too. And I think one of my favorite ideas right now is Miguel from Always Evolving Pythons and Andrew from Redwood Reptiles. I think would be a dope ass match, just because they're both blue belts in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that Miguel is a blue belt under Kazeko Muniz, who used to be Matt Brown from the UFC's grappling coach.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew is a blue belt under Hanato Babalu Sobral. So, he used to fight in the UFC. He's a high-level wrestler, high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt too. So I think that would be a super good match. And those are some big boys, man, So that would be a good thing. I think somebody closer in size to the real Tarzan, that'd be a good match too. So I'd love to do it because I like to kind of take some of his followers, because he's got like 5 million subscribers, But but if I drop down to like maybe 180 or something like that, I'd love to do something like that for USARK if that was on the table. And he's in California now, so I have a little bit more access to him and getting some people to talk to him about that. And that'd be a cool thing to do.
I think that would be awesome, bro. I think more people need to step up to it. Like, honestly, let's look.
I was level 2 combatives, but you're really not. You're trained to have someone that doesn't know how to throw a punch, doesn't really know how to fight you. So it ain't much of anything. But if I'm willing to do it, I think a bunch of you need to step up, and we need to make a whole freaking card. Let Antoine shine at what he does.
That'd be so dope. But like a lot of people ask about like boxing and stuff like that too. But I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's just way too dangerous, man. You know, Tyler from Tyler's Toxic Balls has been hounding me to do a charity boxing match with him, like for the longest too. I'm like, first of all, like you just turned 18 years old. You know what I mean? Like my youngest child's older than you. You know what I mean? Tell him about the time I tapped you. Never happened.
Oh, man.
So yeah, but even with that too, because like boxing is such a sport where you make the smallest miscalculation, you zig, you should have zagged, you could easily just get accidentally caught and starts, and then you're out. You know what I mean? So we don't need anybody with brain damage doing this thing, and you know we don't need any invalids. You know what I mean? So I think grappling would be like the safest aspect because you can always control, you know, how hard you go, especially if you have some kind of semblance of knowing what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, man. You know, also be a good somebody a good grappling match is when Justin's knee comes back. Justin do a jiu-jitsu match. I don't think we'd ever do it, but you know, Justin's been training now for a while, but he's kind of down now since his knee surgery. So,
Right.
But that's another situation. I hope when he's like healed up that he gets back into it. So that's pretty awesome.
I think you need to find one for Kevin if he'll do it, man. Because McCurley had the background in it too.
About Kevin and Dave Kaufman. Like similar heights and builds and stuff too, you know. Yeah. See, that matchmaker mindset is at work right there. I'll be rooting for Kevin for that for sure. No, I'm just
I think it needs to happen, bro. I think that poor man needs to let go of some frustration. But
I like to do one. Go ahead. I said I'd really like to do one to raise money for Brian Barczyk's GoFundMe and stuff, man. That'd be super dope. You know, so if anybody kind of see this later, you clip this part and want to do something for that, you know, he's trying to raise that $2.5 million or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I could find a gym up in Michigan that is sponsored and stuff too. I know plenty of people out there, and we can kind of do something there or do it around the next 10 league. That'll probably be dope too. So, but yeah, either way though, fighting. Let's go.
All right, let's jump into the comeback. So you took that break. You took 2 years. You built your other love, and you came back to ball pythons. Why ball pythons? And what made you come back to specifically be a breeder in ball pythons again?
Well, it's like mainly because it's a species that I love to work with, you know. So like I've had different snakes before. I've had like different colubrids. I've had Mexican black kings and boas. I've had even berms, you know, back in the days too. But I just think that ball pythons, to me, even normals back in the day, to me was some of the prettiest snakes. Like if you look at all like the wild type of different snake species, other than probably like the green trees and the emeralds, because you know, I mean, I'd be a liar and say those wasn't the most beautiful things on this planet. But I just felt that it was something I already had the experience with dealing with, and I didn't want to learn a new species and have to go through the BS of like killing them off on accident because I don't have the temps and humidities right and things like that too. So it's already stuff I was used to, man. And I think I left the ball pythons with some unfinished business, you know, because when I decided to become a breeder, I've never been a middle of the pack type of person for anything. You know what I mean? Like I always want to be like I always wanted to be considered the best in my craft. Not from a financial standpoint, but from like a respect to my peers standpoint. To me, that means more than anything else. So that's why like all the social media stuff is cool and YouTube and Instagram stuff like that too. But my goal is to be one of the first to produce a snake that like years from now, when people are having conversations like you and I are on some podcasts, like, hey, yeah, remember when Antoine made blah, 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 blah. You know, that's what I care about. You know, I want to leave a legacy with these animals because, you know what I mean, they brought me a lot. So, yeah, I just love ball pythons, man. They're just super dope animals, and they're just super simple to work with. And You can have a whole lot of them. It not go too crazy with it.
Freaking hoarder, man.
Mhm.
So let's jump to that. You were talking about legacy, and I think that's one of the things that Brian's situation has obviously brought to the forefront for a lot of us now, whether we're middle-aged or regardless of age, honestly. Just leaving a legacy or leaving something for not only our families, but the people that we've shared our lives with and the community that we shared our lives with. How important do you think it is that we step out as individuals and really cement a legacy for not only ourselves, but for our community as we get older and we leave? Like, I know that's one of the things that my mentor in business really talked about was like, he built up his money, right? And then, go on. Then he made a nonprofit so that he could cement a legacy with the people that he's built with. So
I really don't think everybody needs to like submit a legacy in whatever hobby or industry they're involved in. I don't think that's necessary. I think that it's just necessary for me, you know. Like I'm just one of those people who have to put my stamp on something. You know what I mean? So that's just me. Like I want to be known for like a lot of people still for some reason this is what kills me for the past couple of years. Like since the boom of social media and since the pandemic, I hear a lot of people going, "Oh, why does everybody make a big deal about world's first? World's first don't mean nothing no more because the world of ball pythons page is updated." Shut up. You know what I mean?
like about the world of ball pythons.
Yeah, like that's not, that website isn't the end all be all of world's first. You know what I mean? Like to me, a world's first means that you're going outside the box and you're going through, you know, parts unknown and going the road less traveled. That's what producing the world's first means to me. There's a damn near infinite amount of combinations we can have for these ball pythons too. But when you get to the point where you're doing world's first with adding recessive genes into it and multi-codoms and things like that, man, that's hard work, man. But so to me, world's first means years of hard work, of trial and error, missed odds, failed eggs, incubators that burnt out, females that died while they were gravid, males whose hemipenes fell out or got ripped apart and didn't make it and stuff too. You know, there's a lot behind all these big projects that people just see the tip of the iceberg, and all that shit that's below it, people don't even think about too. That's why I thought it was dope that Justin showed last week when he made more of those triple recessive, the exanthic DG clowns. That it took 29 eggs to make another one. You know, so
a lot of people don't think about that either. Like a lot of people don't think about the fact that, like, let's talk about people chasing a project, right? And they're jumping in and they're really only doing like one, maybe two responsible people, maybe three pairings for a specific outcome instead of like stacking the odds to make sure they hit it every year. Because let's be honest, most of us aren't really we're not there yet. You know what I mean? We're enjoying the hobby, which is what it is, right? So you had some very, very high level, very sought after projects that you've been trying to hit this year. How are you kind of setting yourself up to make sure that you hit those? Because I know one was a freaking heartbreak. Like I was waiting for that sunset puzzle clutch, and I get a note from Antoine. Hey, there ain't gonna be no video today. I was like, no.
Well, but that's what happens when you're just doing a 1.1 of a project.
Yeah.
You know. But the problem is like that with a project at that high of a level, you can't just go out there and buy a 2.6 of double head sunset puzzles either. You know what I mean? So that's the thing with a lot of these projects. You have just, if you're not making the hets or the double hets yourself, you know what I mean? You're going to be hard pressed to go out there and better purchase all of these things. You know what I mean? So, so ideally, you want to have like a big group. Like a lot of the projects I have, when I try to make quad recessives and triple recessives, I have like 2.4s and 2.5s and things like that too, because there's always some probable hets in there too. You know, so like I got a whole row back here of possible quad het females. They're triple het enhancer clown pies, 50% het genetic stripe, you know. So they just,
I mean, you had until I show up. No, I'm just playing.
So I'm just waiting for the G stripe test now to prove all of those out. You know what I mean? And just a lot of projects are like that now. I'm just banking a lot of females and just waiting to hit that because my big triple recessive is the enhancer G stripe clown project now. I'm working that from like 5 different angles, you know. So by the time I hit a visual, I'll have other genes in it too. You know what I mean? And I mean, they're still going for a pretty penny right now. They're going for $30K. So I mean, I'd be nice to kind of hit a couple of those while the prices are still sitting up there. You know what I mean? So that and this was my second year trying to hit the Ultra Male Batman, and I screwed the pooch on that because turns out that I got a leopard double het female and a male normal double het from Secret Ball Pythons, right? We did some trades like 2 seasons ago. And I went and bought a spot nose double het male. And I was like, you know what? Let's try this. I tried to hit the Ultra Male Batmans. So 2 seasons in a row, never locked.
Oh.
I'm just like, I've never had a male that was 2.5 years old that never tried to lock. Like, I put him with just threw in there with some normals and stuff like that. And so that just to see what happened, you know, nothing. No desire to breed at all. So about 4 months ago, I pulled him out. He's about 900 grams. I go pop him. Now, what's the first thing that happens with a 2-year-old male ball python? I'm going to pop him. What happens before you see anything? What happens?
First going everywhere.
All over the damn place, right?
Yeah.
Man, nothing came out. Press a little bit harder, start to roll. All I see is a little fleshy patch with some sick glands next to him, man. So I bought him as a male, but turns out it's a female. So I double checked, you know, probed her, checked her like that, you know what I mean? 100% a female. And didn't bother to look. It was from a reputable breeder, you know what I mean? Like legit reputable breeder, but you know, people screw up. So I ended up getting a male a couple months back. So now for this fall, I got a chance to hit the Ultra Male Batman now, and I can hit the Powerball Ultra Male Clown as well because I'm gonna do spot notes and spot notes because I think they're badass. You know what I mean? So, just to see, and I don't have bladed. There's no blade in any of the animals either, too. So if I
are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I know.
You better have Ray from Alluring look at all your stuff. I guarantee you, he's gonna find blade in it.
No, I have blade in some of my stuff, but not in that one. Like I have blade in my some of my G stripe clown stuff, and you know, but I'm not really worried about that too much. But yeah, man, freaking just gonna see what happens with that. So I'm excited about hitting the Ultra Male Clown stuff, and Ultra Male Clowns by themselves at the point now where they're pretty much affordable. Like a Ultra Male Clown male is about $5,000, right? About $5K, but that's just a project where I think I'll be a lot more satisfied when I cut the egg or they hatch on their own and I see a visual Ultra Male Clown myself. You know, so that's something that's a project I want to keep trucking. And I have the space to do it, and it's not affecting like any other side projects too. So it's just those 2 females, and I got that male, and I can kind of play with that, and they'll both be going around the same time this fall, I'm assuming. So yeah, so that, and then the double head Sunset Puzzle Girl is bigger now than she was when she was bred the first time. So she's just like, she eats desert field mouse on Wednesdays and Norwegian rat on on Sundays, you know. So yeah, she's packing on size, and she'll be ready to go soon. So try number 2, and hopefully this time I get more than 2 good eggs, you know. So Anna, what's up, homie?
Let's talk about that. So what do you think happened with that? Because like everyone has their idea of what causes slugs, right? Like I know some people said, well, the fat storage on the female, or like,
well, so there was no slugs. So they were actual eggs, like regular size eggs.
Okay.
But they had weak veins. So they had an embryo in them and had weak veins. But like a week and a half later, 3 of the eggs just rotted out. So I don't think it was nothing. I don't think it's really nothing I can do about that. It is what it is, man. But But with that male, coincidentally, I have 4 Posset Sunsets females here as well, and 2 of them went last year, and I missed sunsets on those as well. But I only dealt with 2 or 3 eggs from both of those females too, because the same thing happened. So I don't know if it's him where didn't offer sacrifice. Yeah, sure didn't. So I'm gonna get me one of them like fertility freaking statues and shit next time. So maybe the male, I mean, they both were young. I mean, like she had the eggs on the ground before she was 2 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? But she had the size on her, but she had the size on her and everything too. You know what I mean? So when she was pairing, she started pairing at almost like 1,650, 1,700 grams. She had the width and girth on her. She had the childbearing hips and all that, you know. so it wasn't just like, and then the male he's a decent size too, you know. So but he did have a pretty heavy workload. So he was breeding 4 Posset Sunsets, a het puzzle, and her. So maybe he was overworked a little bit. So, but
A little bit for a young
we'll see
man.
because but I'm gonna sit those Posset girls out this year, whatever too, and I think that that's the bigger priority. So he's only going to the double head Sunset puzzle and one of my head puzzle girls here. So I love to hit some visual puzzles, female Posset Sunset and vice versa. So even when I don't hit the double visual, they can just sit in the rack, chill, throw them rats every week. You know what I mean? Until I one day look up, I'm like, man, this bitch is big enough to breed. You know what? My favorite thing to do with the breeding is forget how old some of these things are. Because I've looked at my racks and looked at these females, looked at my records. I'm like, wait a minute, these girls aren't 2, they're fucking 4. They're 4 years old. Like, let me start pairing these things. You know, you get some surprise adults that can go, especially when they're like higher end projects. You know what I mean? So it's always some good stuff.
That's a good thing though, bro. Like that shows that you're patient. Like you're not like I've heard some stories, dude, that just like I understand the want to be first, but I've heard some stories from some people, and it's just like, well, I don't think I ever could do what you just did, and I don't think I'll ever sell you an animal because how fast you're trying to work these animals, you're gonna kill something. And they have, some of them have, but
I've definitely overbred males over the years and killed males because I was like, oh man, look, I know he's been off food for like 3 months, but I just need to do one last lock with this female, and then you put him in there, you pull him out, and he's belly up and stuff too, you know. So I've definitely done that because I didn't understand how taxing it was to get them to breed and stuff too. So, but now the way I have my setup and the way my room is set up now, none of my males go off for food. So, so I do that. I do a thing I call them a puppy treat. So every time they still eat on Sundays with everyone else, but if they're breeding, I put them back in their rack and throw a rat pup in there, and they eat the rat pup immediately. So they have motivation to lock. So I'm hoping somehow to correlate them breeding with here's a treat. Now you get to eat too. So during the breeding season, my males actually gain weight. They get bigger.
See, I always do it when I'm pulling them out. So like I'll make them wait all week, and then they put their work in at the end of the week, and then they get their weekend and they get that paycheck. They get that meal, that steak dinner on a Friday night.
They're guys, man. So they like that instant gratification. So we're in the microwave era, not just for human beings, but for animals too. You know how we want all our stuff. We want all our short form video content. We want everything delivered to our house and not have to wait. So the snakes probably want stuff right away too. Say, hey man, I just got finished unlocking this female, and you're trying to make all this money off me. Shouldn't I get something in return right away? Of course. Here's a rat show. Take that, buddy. You know, it's only right, man.
I feel that, brother. So what do you think outside of just ball pythons? Because you like to branch out. What do you think is the next step for Antoine in your long line of accomplishments or things that you'd like to try to do in life?
Well, I don't think so when I finally leave California, animal wise though, I will have some healers and some beaded lizards. I would do that as pets. And I want to do some arboreals too. So I think I'm leaning towards some chondros, man. We went to Bill's house when we was in Texas, man. I fell in love
You
with the
got bit
things,
by the
man.
bug, bro.
Yeah, I was like, man. So I just wish there was a way we could keep those Neos and stay red their whole life. And once somebody figures that out, once somebody can get those yellow and red Neos and stay the same color when they're 5 and 6 years old,
You're
man,
good, bro. Just go ATBs.
It's gonna be a rich person, man.
Just go ATBs, bro.
Yeah.
You got versions that stay red their entire life. You won't pay for it, but.
And I'm thinking about getting back into dog breeding. I used to breed pits when I lived in North Carolina when I was active duty, and I worked for Boeing too. But I think I'm gonna do some like bigger breeds too. I'm gonna try my hand at those South African Borbals, even though everybody keeps saying the feed and vet bill is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I just, even if I don't breed them, I want to have some like property dogs, So I have some that could roam the property and patrol like that too, and I think that'd be a nice little project to learn about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so much, whether it's reptiles or something else. And that's what I was kind of getting at. Like if we pulled the animals away from you, is there any other focus right now besides matchmaking and animals?
Probably still building firearms. I still love to do that, but it's kind of hard because California is always going to California. and every time I turn around, there's some new law trying to limit what you can have and can't have too. So I just wish when I move somewhere else, I have more time to do that as well.
Right.
So how is your pup? I haven't seen any videos lately. Go on my other Instagram, Professor_Antoine, and I just posted a picture of the new pup too. He's doing some hide work on the spring pole in the backyard. And he's like shredded too. He's like super jacked too. So he's getting ready for a dog show soon. So he's getting all nice and slimmed down and cut up and stuff too. I'm gonna do some weight pull competitions with him and things like that, because he's so hyper, man. It's like a pit bull, but he has a Malinois brain, So
Man.
Yeah, so
like I've had pits throughout my life, not purebreds. I've always had mutts, but like predominantly pit. And I know they like to chew, but my Dane is like the worst chewer I've ever met in my life. I'll take that back. There's one dog that I couldn't. I kept a dog for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I can't keep up with this puppy. It's literally chewing everything. Like it's chewing the chairs, it's chewing the toys, it's chewing all my equipment, like everything. A little dash hound. I got a little dash hound for free, and that thing freaking chewed everything. I gave it up, and like the people I gave it to were like, we had it for like a month, and we couldn't do it. And they finally found somewhere where it could run and go. But like my Great Dane, I find toys scattered everywhere. And I don't know how she gets them. I don't know if she like grabs them on the way out the door in the morning with the kids or what she does. But that dog chews. So what's your advice as like a dog trainer, essentially, to get her to stop chewing like everything? She's got toys all over. Like she's got balls, she's got bones, she's got like this dog's spoiled.
Well, I mean, the best way to stop behavior with any living thing, whether it's humans or animals, is shut it down immediately. So a lot of times,
Well, I mean,
like
I can't.
when you catch if you that's the problem with that too. So like if when the animal the young is a puppy and you can't be around to see when they're like peeing on the floor or chewing on stuff too, stopping it dead in its tracks is always the best way to stop anything. Just like with human beings, you know what I mean? Like if there's people I know that will sit there and let people talk all kinds of crap to their face and just smile and slide. But the people who shut shit down right away and fix that bad behavior, that's how you know who you can and can't say certain things to. You know what I mean? And that applies to humans and animals across the board. So you shut the shitty behavior down right away. That's the best way to fix any behavior you don't want. So, yeah, but have you noticed that
binoculars the other day? She went through. So we got the kids binoculars for Christmas, and they decided to take them outside, put them on the table, and we got out there,
and these are like $30-$40 binoculars, so they're not super expensive, you know what I mean? But like, she got all 3 pair. I was just like, you couldn't leave one. Like, you couldn't just leave one. You had to take, and she scattered them in different corners so she wouldn't get caught. I was just like, this damn dog. But
my
yeah,
oldest,
so,
my youngest dog now, the only thing he chews on, so I have chain link fence around the property, and I have those little privacy individual slats you put them down in between them. You know what I mean?
right.
My backyard, he's ripped every last one of them out, like all of them. He's like chewed them in half. That's the only thing he'll chew on. Like he rips them out of the fence because he wants to be able to see the neighbor's yard and shit too. So he fucking, yeah. I was like, nah, that's messed up, man. But Prada, the older dog, she's an angel. She doesn't chew on stuff. She doesn't bark like crazy. She just does her thing, eat, piss, play, go to sleep. You know. Excuse me.
They're funny, man. Like, a lot of people say that reptiles can't be trained, but I very much so believe. I mean, obviously monitors can. You see the intelligence with like monitors and lizards and stuff, but even snakes. Like, I don't know how far I would go as far as intelligence with them, but I definitely know that my reach tick has me timed. Certain movements mean certain things to her. Even the ball pythons, I think some of them understand better than others. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some definite how do I want to put this? Special animals in my rep
Yeah.
that don't
Bro,
know no better.
But think about it like this: if you feed on a constant schedule with your snakes, right? Like I feed every Sunday afternoon between noon and 2 p.m. If I come in the snake room without rats, the tubs are restless. You can see like their noses up against the tip in between the cracks, sniffing around and stuff too. Before I even bring a rat in here, they know. They come to this like circadian rhythm almost as far as like all their behaviors. Like look at tap training too. Like when you tap train an animal, like a bigger snake, you tap them with a hook, that lets them know, hey, it's not food time, it's handle time, and that's it too. So they can all be trained to a certain extent, man. Look at like rodents, mice and rats and stuff too. When we went to Mice Direct, they were saying how a half hour before the lights go out and there before sundown, the mice go ahead when they're still light in the building, they go ahead and finish getting as much water as they can. So 30 minutes out, everybody's fighting the sippers, and it's super loud in there. Like you got to almost wear earplugs. It's like so everything has a routine, and that's what training is. When you train somebody to do something, all you're doing is establishing a routine. So training is just another word to put on it. So
okay. So that's one of the things I kind of wanted to not necessarily the training, but I wanted to reach out on. So you've kind of upped your game here recently too, and I'm gonna pull up your Instagram right quick. And you stepped up your rodent game. Now you've always kind of had your desert field mice, as they put them, or you put them, and what's made you decide to kind of elevate versus trying to pull supplies from nearby? Because I know a couple of your boys just stepped into the rodent breeding. Is that something that you're contemplating too, like on a bigger level, obviously, right? Like not just
I hate regular rats. I hate Norwegian rats, and I hate like the regular mice too. I just, to me, it's just the smell. I'm not at a point where I'm like away from a bunch of neighbors and stuff like that, and I felt that just doing Norway rats on a big scale just wouldn't be the responsible thing. And with my schedule, just be able to clean them as often as I need to. Like I don't want to be that guy that's the stinky neighbor, So with these desert field mice, they all poop and pee in the same part of the tub and stuff too, So and they're some pretty clean animals to the point where the blue rat actually had them inside of my house for the last like month and a half until recently when it got a little bit warmer outside too. So yeah, so in the blue rack now, I just have like a bunch of the bigger colonies. So I think I have like a 1.7 and 1.8 and some of those. and then the two on the left and right of there, I'm just using those to my holdout bins. So if I have my grow out babies and stuff to feed from. So right now I only have, I think, 3 or 4 ball pythons that eat them exclusively, but I want to get to the point where if I can feed my whole collection with them, I'd be happy with doing that.
So that's
And
the focus then.
yeah, and those, so like my hurricane clown, as soon as she went over to these guys, she's getting a lot bigger, she's getting fatter, she seems a lot brighter and stuff too. And my Angie asphalt head pied female that's going this year. She just seems like they're built a lot different now, man, over the past 6 to 7 months. So I'm kind of curious. I don't know the scientific numbers as far as like what kind of protein they have and things like that, or what causes it. But I like what I'm seeing, and if I can transfer everybody over to that, I'm 100% down with doing that. So,
no, I love them, dude. Like they've been a blessing in disguise. They make everything grow a little bit faster. They make everything, when it's picky, seem to get over that jitteriness that we know ball pythons can sometimes have.
How many dorks in the comment section still trying to figure out what a desert field mouse is?
I think they picked it up pretty quick.
Okay, good.
But
man. I can't tell you how many DMs I got last week. Oh my god, man! I was like, what? I was like, no, it's not.
Are you taking mice out of the wild to feed your snakes? You're such a bad person, Antoine.
That's the California nomenclature for them, and then they go, I got it,
No, 100%, 100%. I agree with Brian right here, and you. Like I will 100% always be on ASFs as long as I can keep them going again.
What percentage of your collection? What percentage of your collection is on them?
Right now, it's about 50. I only have 3 colonies. Yeah. I'm raising up, so I only got them in November, and I haven't made new colonies yet. I'm growing up more to expand the colonies.
I'm not gonna lie to you; they are kicking my ass.
Like, well, I do it different than you too. Like you're big. What you're calling a big colony is tiny to me. Yeah. I'm doing 2 to 20 right now.
Ate 11 baby litter just now. She ate them all. I'm like, what the hell? Like, so they got so much stuff in there, man. I got like rodent seed stuff in there. I got regular block. I'm using I've switched from the Missouri 6F to the Missouri rodent to the whatever you call it, whatever you call that shit, to high protein cat food to dog food. I've tried every combination of the sort, man, and I don't know, man. So I just think I'm gonna just let it anecdotal evidence. Mine hooked on rats. All the smallest clutches, go the slowest.
I can't give you all the secrets on the live because I promised the lady that taught me I wasn't gonna put it all out. But we'll talk after this real quick before you go watch John Wick.
Yeah, they're kicking my butt, man. Like I'm super happy when they have stuff, and then I'm like, oh, let's go see how they looking. Gone. I'm like, where the hell they go? In her damn belly.
Yep.
So,
I mean, they could be feisty. It really depends, man. Like the issue with your desert field rats or desert field mice is you have to be on them daily. Like that, there's something about those and putting the interaction in with those that it really requires. You see a huge difference though. Like once you get them calmed down, and like all of mine, I can put my hands in there. I can move them around, do whatever I need to. I can hold them in my hand. They're pretty good. But
yeah, I can do that with all but one group. All but one group now. I can go.
It's coming, but the lady that taught me said I could not share for the masses yet. She was not ready for that because we're trying to verify on a scientific level almost that it's going to work every time.
Before you put it out as fact and stuff, yeah.
Yep. So I promise you, Jeremy, as soon as we get the okay and we figure out this is exactly what's going to work every time, it'll be coming out. But we're not there yet. What's coming this year? Like you've paired, I would say probably a decent amount, knowing what you're trying to do. What's some of the stuff now that you've kind of had your let down with that first clutch?
Mhm.
What's some of the stuff this year that's you're really looking forward to?
I should have some visual enhancer G-stripe head clowns this year. So have some double recessives on the ground and working on that triple project. Just hopefully I get a shit ton of females from that to put the stuff I already have. I got the ingredients for the asphalt Pompeii working on right now. So I'm replacing asphalt with yellow belly. That's something I wanted to do. When the Pompeii first came out, I was like, yeah, ain't no way. Like, we got to replace it with asphalt. You can have darker stuff, and we screw up yellow belly on both sides. I'd much rather hit a super asphalt combo than an ivory combo, So I just got a basic red stripe I put to an asphalt clown right now. So she'll be laying in a couple of weeks. So hopefully I get some good red stripe asphalt heads from that. And then I got like black pastel spot nose girls growing up right now. After that project, I'm into the redhead clown stuff now too. So I'm excited about that. I got a nice girl from Bob Vu. I'm growing up, and she's been pounding food since I got her from the Arlington show. Let's see, lace stuff. Like I said, once I saw a lace in person, I went and I got some lace head clowns. I got some single gene lace stuff. I'm going along the lines with that, and kind of parallel the lace project too. My LSR Fire girl is going to go this year too, so I have some LSR Fire POS triple head enhancer G-stripe clown stuff with that too to add to that, man. And just like I said, I want to make a bunch of snakes where you got to put sunglasses or welded helmets on to open up the tubs. You know what I'm saying? So I got the Hellbender project that I'm trying to work on too. Get that. That's just another clown combo. GHI Stranger, Spot Nose, Red Stripe, Asphalt Clown. So,
Wait, what?
that
was a lot.
So,
you lost me after GHI.
GHI Stranger, Asphalt, Red Stripe / Redhead Clown. So
okay.
We do a lot of stuff with that too. So, a lot of that stuff going, man. What else? My Hurricane girl's growing, so I'm always back in the fence when I want to add to the Hurricane Clown stuff. You know what I mean? Because even though the price of that project dropped a lot, I have some ideas where I'm gonna put that shit back through the roof. I saw a Hurricane ODDG Clown at Tinley Levanza. Straight Fire had that, and I was like, oh man, that's what's up, man.
Respect,
what's up,
Garrett?
man?
Appreciate you.
How you doing, brother? So, yeah, man, not nothing too crazy. So this year, I'm really concentrating on a lot of stuff where, if I can hold back every female from the parent, even the worst female, I stick them in the racks and grow them up until all of this recession stuff is over with. You know what I mean? I got no problem doing that. So, this is probably going to be this year. It's probably going to be the least amount of snakes I sell, but could potentially still be the most money. So I'm not putting a lot of stuff out there now, and I'm vending at the Pomona show in August. So whatever residuals I have, everything will be on the table then, and all that stuff will get moved. But yeah, other than that, man, I can finally hit visual G-stripe clowns this year, but they'll be 100% head enhancer. So fingers crossed on that. Stick those back in. And then this fall too, I got the chance to hit quads and triples. So enhancer clown pods and enhancer G-stripe clown pods.
You talking about visuals or?
Yeah, visuals. Yeah, I'll be able to hit visuals this year. So
that's crazy, brother.
So all those girls back there is fall. I think one of my monsoon girls is gonna go. So I'm working on this Desert Ghost Monsoon, and then I'm pairing for my other monsoon project, Axanthic DG Monsoon. So that's gonna be hot, man. A lot of people doing Axanthic and DG like with clown, a bunch of other stuff too, but I see the value in other recessives too. So everybody should be getting out there trying to put Axanthic DG puzzle, you know what I mean? And Axanthic DG try, you know, things like that too, man. So go outside the box and start jumping on those other projects. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, man. And just then pavement clowns or freeway clown stuff too. Yeah, yeah, just
Just a little sprinkle on the end.
Yeah, just sprinkle that too. You know, I would just love to have I would love to have a row full of super asphalt head clown girls. Like I just plug multi-gene clown stuff too, and everything's guaranteed to have asphalt in it. You know, so wouldn't that be a great world to live in?
For you. No, I'm just playing. I do like asphalt, man. Like it's a beautiful animal. I ain't there yet. Like I'm trying to get away from oranges. Like there's too much orange in ball pythons already. As I am trying to expand on monarchs and bring more orange into the world, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I think one of the important things that a lot of people take for granted is the connections that we're able to make, not only on podcasts, but at the shows. So one of the things that I think you've done really well, and something that I'd like to kind of start wrapping up with, is telling people how vital it is to really jump into these shows and put your face out there. Like whether they see you on the internet or not, it's something that you've done very well. You travel to all the shows, maybe not every year, but all the major shows you've been to. You make sure everyone knows your face, everyone knows your name. What led you down that path initially?
Dude, my two favorite parts of shows is getting to meet people that I've watched their work over time with, because online there's a lot of people who you can't help but to see, you know, because they do like sponsored posts and stuff like that too. So I see more Brian Carter's ads for BC's balls than any other breeder ever. It comes up on my Instagram story feeds, my Facebook stuff too, you know. But it was always somebody I watched, you know, for a long time anyway. You know what I mean? So just finally having to meet him in person at the Arlington show, that was one of the highlights of the show for me, man. So he's just as cool in person as he is online and stuff too. I didn't know he was that tall though, so that kind of weirded me out. But you know, I was like, why are you like 6'3", yo? Get the fuck out of here. So that was crazy, man. And it was awesome seeing him having his wife there, having her like participate in the whole reptile world, because he said that's not really something that she was involved in. But it's always cool like seeing people with supportive spouses that, I mean, not just publicly, but even behind the scenes, that's like, you know, helping people pursue their dream. That's always an invaluable tool to people, you know, having a supportive spouse. So I always salute that when I see that. So and then also on the flip side of that, when you go to a show and you meet a person that you respect and admire that you didn't knew you even existed, and then comes up to you and say stuff like at last year's Tilly, I walk down the hallway and Mark Bailey goes, "Hey man, hey, you're Antoine. Can I talk to you for a second?" And it's telling me like how like him and his wife watch my content and stuff too, and like how he fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was kind of drunk when I talked to him, so I almost started crying because I was so like, yeah, I was wasted. I was like, that means so much to me, you know. But yeah, it was a cool experience, man. You know, and just it's just super humbling to me, and I think that we owe it as especially if you're going to be in the public light as a influencer. I hate that fucking word, but we are. You know, if you're an influencer, I think you're owed to go out there to the public and interact with the people who've been following you and supporting you. So I think it's just super important. And I make no bones about it that people who don't go to shows anymore, I talk shit about them. You know what I mean? Well, to their face too. I call them, "Hey man, you need to come out more and do shows." But I understand some of the bigger names who can't do as many, and you will never get much accomplished, you know. But I think early on, it's a big way to move your brand, man, and just have a good time. And just even if you don't need to vend, show up and, you know, just show your support for the company. Show up the USARK and bid on some stuff. You know what I mean? and get yourself out there that way, man. So I can't stress that enough. That actually showing up to things like that is going to boost you up there. Not as far as just money, but as far as like admiration from your peers.
Okay. So there's two things I want to do real quick before we roll out. First, I want to see if you had any advice to give, whether it's someone that's new coming in or someone that's been in the game but just hasn't figured out how to take that step to really push themselves. What advice do you have for those people?
Find a mentor that knows what they're doing. So if you can't do it on your own, as far as like making an interpersonal connection, figure out who has a Patreon or somebody that you follow, that you can get yourself out there and get to notice you too. So that's the one good thing over the past couple of years that I really love about that platform is that, especially like early on when I was with Billy's Patreon, that's kind of the reason where I kind of blew up social media wise, because like I was always there participating and networking and asking questions. And Billy was like, "Hey man, this Antoine guy is like really doing his thing," and then started like showing my channel and stuff like that too. So I owe a lot of that to Billy. Billy's, Justin's, shameless plug, my own. So a lot of the newer guys who have really small collections who are scared to kind of like put the money into it now, I've been dealing with them and kind of showing them how I gradually did my collection. But they have, just depending on people's budget and what they can do. So just like I said, you don't need to find a Patreon to pay somebody, but it does help though. You know what I mean? And a lot of people bitch about going on Patreon. Oh, I can get all this stuff for free on the internet and shit like that. Well, okay, go ahead and keep doing that too. It's just a longer process. And if you like doing things the long way and the hard way, go right ahead. But hey, guys, Patreon is tax deductible. It's a business expense. You can write it off. So
I might have to. No, I'm
that
not.
said,
I really don't want to spend that time yet. One day it will come. It will come. I actually, I'm gonna get yelled at by my Discord people for this. So if you're in my Discord, hey, hit me up and tell me how much of a crappy person I am, because I promised it back in March, the beginning of this month, that I was gonna start a Patreon, and then I was like, you know what? I just really don't want to put the time into that right now. So you're gonna have to wait. Hey. It might come one day, but it's not in my heart right now, and I don't want to do anything half-assed.
I'm hooking some of my guys up with my Patreon this time. The Powerhouse tier, which is a $20 tier. I'm gonna do a giveaway for those 66% double head sunset puzzles, and watch whoever get that pair end up hitting fucking sunset puzzles before I do. And I've been behind on the VIP tier where like every 3 months we do a giveaway just because of the way the breeding season's been. So I'm doing like a pair of like double head G-stripe clown combos and stuff too this time around. And I got a couple stuff coming too that we're just going to go back and do. So yeah, man, it's just a fun time, man. And on my group, it's probably like under 40. In my group, I call them the League of Assassins, because between our 3 group chats, man, like we're just always like jumping on and helping each other out and doing. I hate Discord, by the way, so I fucking got rid of my Discord. I call it the High Desert Pythons Discord because I can't help it. But my Instagram group chat is super lit. We post links in there all the time. We ask questions. We stay active in there too. So shameless plug if you're thinking about joining it, patreon.com/High Desert Pythons. Jump in there for a little bit and kind of see what you think. But yeah, man, that's what I say, man. Find a mentor that way organically, and if you can, jump on somebody's Patreon.
Oh, yeah. I like that. So I made you go 84 minutes without saying a dad joke. For us to end this live, I need you to give me your best dad joke that you got right now without getting me canceled.
See, that's it. I can't. It has to be situational, man, because that's how they just fly out. But I did like a snake related one all the time too. Like I told you about like my the Jamaican snake breeder, right? I told you about him, the one that I was figuring out. He has no recessive projects, at all. He has like all co-dom and incomplete dom stuff too. And I was like, hey, bro, when you get into a recessive? He goes, monsoon.
Okay. So bad. Y'all, I hope you enjoy Bad Dad Jokes with Antoine Hood.
Man,
bro, I appreciate you. I love you. For those that don't know or those that watch later down the years and haven't seen your face everywhere, though I'm sure over the next couple of years it's still going to be everywhere. How do we get a hold of you?
Hi, there's the Pythons, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. Tinder, Bumble, Raya, Black Planet, farmersonly.com, whitepeoplemeet.com, and JDate for all my Jewish people who's trying to get their rocks off too. You can find me on that one as well.
All right, y'all, this has been Antoine Hood, and I'm about to get canceled. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Antoine, brother, I love you very much. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to throw you in the back real quick and wrap this.
Love you too, bro. Later, man. Peace, everybody.
Y'all, I hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we got a couple of special things. We have Mr. Dave Levinson on our Monday morning 15-minute segment. Make sure you check that out. Subscribe to the channel right now. If you haven't already, set that notification bell so that you can see all these episodes coming out. And then next week, next Saturday, I got someone that has never been seen on a podcast, someone that has crazy amounts of imports, is just, I like to call her the queen of the import game. We're going to have Miss Anna Kirby from AK Morphs next week. Super excited about that next Saturday. Make sure you check that out. And hey, make sure you share this out. Share some love. I'm going to give Antoine some hassle because his internet is supposed to be like really good. He's got like double internet and he was frozen like the whole thing. So I'm going to go give the old man some slack. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next one.